Just because you think I'm grateful to you, don't get arrogant over just a bit of help. I don't remember ever asking you to pay. Really, I just don't want to deal with you anymore. Even though I paid for all of my eldest son and his wife's surgery expenses, they treated me this coldly. I felt it might be best to end my relationship with them at this point. With that thought, I sold my house and moved to a new place. Hey, Mom, what are you doing? What are you talking about? You're no longer my child. My name is Stacy. I'm a working mother, currently living a happy life with my children. I met my husband, Terry, during a joint project at the company where we worked. Through that project, we got interested in each other and gradually became close. He joined the company after I started working. Interestingly, we later found out that we both graduated from the same university. We were from different faculties, so we never met during our college days. We graduated from the same university. How surprising, we would say, laughing. After that, we often went out for meals and spent time together. Naturally, a deep bond formed between us, marking the start of our romantic relationship. Our relationship progressed smoothly, and we enjoyed our time together. Then one day, to our surprise and joy, I discovered I was pregnant. Given the situation, the conversation naturally shifted to marriage. However, there was one concern. Terry had been previously married and had a 5-year-old son named Sam. Sam lived happily with Terry's parents. With our marriage and a new start as a family, we imagined living with Sam in our new home. But Terry's mother, my mother-in-law, had an unexpected reaction. It's natural to get married now that you're expecting, but please, don't take Sam away from us. Faced with my mother-in-law's strong feelings, we were a bit puzzled. Ultimately, instead of setting up a new home for ourselves, I moved into Terry's parents' house. At first, as newlyweds, living with his parents was a bit of a hassle for us. Despite embarking on a new journey of life, deep down, I sometimes felt, this isn't what I expected. However, it's undeniable that my mother-in-law was there for me during my pregnancy. Her support, especially as I approached childbirth, was truly invaluable. It seems she realized that it might be too much for me, becoming a mother for the first time, to properly take care of an energetic 5-year-old Sam. In retrospect, the decisions made then were the best for us, because the days spent with our new family brought us joy and growth beyond our expectations. By that time, my parents had already passed away, so I couldn't rely on them. Instead, my in-laws became a significant pillar of support for me. I'm really grateful, especially to my mother-in-law, for her warmth and support up to the time I gave birth. Then a new little life, Jamie, joined our family. Initially, both my mother-in-law and father-in-law adored Jamie dearly. But as Jamie turned about 3 years old, I started noticing subtle changes. Is Jamie a bit less agile than Sam was? My father-in-law increasingly said. By this age, Sam could already kick a ball and play a bit. It seems a tad challenging for Jamie. My father-in-law had always loved soccer and had been a scholarship athlete through college. He would have loved to become a professional soccer player, but it didn't happen. Perhaps he hoped someone in the family might reach the professional leagues. My husband also loved soccer and was quite a skilled player in college. His soccer experience even helped him get smoothly into his current job. However, I knew clearly that my husband didn't wish to push our children down any specific path. It felt like my father-in-law was still chasing that dream, and I increasingly sensed his pressure at home. My father-in-law always made decisions, no matter what. My mother-in-law rarely went against him. At times, she seemed almost brainwashed by his influence. Judging by Jamie's ability to move, my father-in-law seemed to think, sports might not be for this kid, and it became clear that he favored Sam more. Sam, is there a new game you want? I'll buy it for you, he'd offer. Really? Thanks, Grandpa, Sam would exclaim. As for Jamie, he's not into sports, so I haven't thought of any special treats for him. Honestly, such behavior from my father-in-law was quite shocking. My mother-in-law, influenced by his opinions, began to show more favor for Sam. I tried telling multiple times that showing favoritism amongst siblings wasn't right, but it never seemed to get through. It seemed like my husband noticed a bit and was thinking, this isn't good. But in the end, he was overridden by his parents' strong opinions. According to my husband, when I got divorced previously, my parents helped me out a lot, so it's a bit hard to speak up now. When his previous marriage fell apart, it seems his father-in-law helped him in many ways. He's still grateful for that. His father-in-law has a wide network, and thanks to that, my husband's divorce went smoothly. But it's not fair not to treat Jamie fairly now because of past events. What's more concerning is that Sam is starting to see himself as somewhat special and is beginning to look down on Jamie. If this continues, it might strain their relationship as brothers. There's a 5-year age gap between Sam and Jamie. Perhaps because of that, the younger one tends to shrink a bit in front of his older brother. I've told the older son several times to get along with his younger brother, but due to the influence of the grandparents, things haven't been going well. Then suddenly, my mother-in-law fell ill and was hospitalized. Her condition got worse rapidly, and she passed away. In the middle of this, my father-in-law placed a heavy burden on me. I want you to quit your job for the family now, and take care of the house, and look after Sam. I couldn't possibly accept such a request. As I was thinking that life in this house was becoming unbearable, my husband stepped up for me. Dad, Stacy is my precious wife. I don't want you to put such pressure on her. If you insist, we're ready to leave this place and start a new life, he said firmly. My father-in-law was taken aback and showed his anger. You think you've grown up all by yourself, he retorted. But my husband calmly replied, I'm grateful, truly. But now it's my turn to protect my family. Leaving this house is for our future. After that, my husband and I held hands, determined to leave his parents' house. We started a new life in a flat. Eventually we moved into the place of our dreams and enjoyed our new daily life. Morning light through the window, our children's smiles, and conversations with my husband. Time flew by with such days. However, later on, my father-in-law got ill, and he passed away. Fortunately, by then, my husband and his father had gotten over their past. My husband took on the role of the chief mourner and conducted the funeral. His death was a sad event for us, but being able to express our gratitude in his last moments was a relief. Life went back to normal, but as our eldest son entered high school, we began to notice slight changes in his character. One day during his senior year of high school, I heard a loud noise coming from the room next to the living room. I rushed in and found my eldest son pinning down his younger brother. I widened my eyes in surprise and exclaimed, "What are you doing?" and pulled them apart. My younger son's eyes were brimming with tears, and his cheeks were flushed. I felt really concerned, and I hugged him and said, "Jamie, are you okay?" After this incident, I felt something changing within our family. Looking straight into Sam's eyes, I asked, "Why are you so mad? Jamie is only a 7th grader in junior high, and you're a senior in high school. It's not fair for you to lash out at him." Sam looked frustrated. His noisy game was distracting me from my studies. "You were that irritated," I said in a surprised voice. "But that's not a reason to be violent towards Jamie." There was a hint of jealousy in his eyes. "Mom, you are always on Jamie's side." "Sam, don't say that." His words tugged at my heartstrings. When my husband came home and I told him about the incident, he sighed deeply and said, "Maybe Sam is upset about missing out on the soccer scholarship, but that's no reason to take it out on Jamie." My husband nodded in agreement and went to talk to Sam. I could sense the strong bond between them. Sam apologized to Jamie later that day. However, he started avoiding me, which made me feel sad. Deep down, I longed for the day when my eldest would talk to me like he used to. But as time passed, that hope started fading. Even after he graduated from college, his behavior remained unchanged, and he continued to avoid me. My husband and I would often talk late every night, wondering what to do, but we couldn't find an answer. Then one day, out of the blue, my husband said, "Our eldest is getting married." My heart was a whirlwind of shock and joy. However, that joy didn't last long when my husband added that our son had intended to keep his marriage a secret from us. Thankfully, my husband persuaded him, and we were there on his special day in the end. On the wedding day, seeing my son looking so bright and happy was different from usual. I was overwhelmed with happiness and shed tears of joy. After the ceremony, I approached him with slight nervousness, and all he said was, "Thank you," holding my hand. In that brief moment of contact, I felt the cold tension between my child and me warm up just a tad. Before I knew it, I felt my relationship with my eldest son had been gradually improving. For a few years, we had a great time with my eldest son's family every New Year. But the dark cloud that suddenly overshadowed those ordinary days was the unexpected death of my husband. I was simply stunned and lost at his sudden demise. During that turmoil, my eldest son and his wife, Kate, came to me with a surprising proposal. "Mom, if you're up for it, why don't you live with us? But aren't you still mad at me?" I was feeling worried. Yet my eldest son reassured me with a smile. "It's all right now. Let's start fresh as a family." Touched by his words, I began living with them. Kate was genuinely warm, and her presence brightened up our home. But the peaceful days didn't last long. One day, my eldest son and Kate made a shocking confession. Kate had a serious illness, and the treatment would cost a fortune. I was lost for words. I had come to think of Kate as my own daughter, so the news broke my heart. "We want to do something for Kate, but we don't have the money," my son said, a hint of pain in his voice. "What, really?" I said, taken aback, yet feeling a desire to help them. "It's all right. I'll cover the surgery expenses." I promptly offered them $7,000. "Really? Mom, thank you," my son said with tears in his eyes, while Kate nodded with a grateful smile and said, "I appreciate it so much." Sometime later, I received news that Kate's surgery went well. I felt a weight lift off my shoulders, thinking, "Thank goodness." They then decided to take a short spa holiday to celebrate her recovery. But when they returned, something seemed off. Even though it wasn't the middle of summer, both of them had dark tans. Moreover, there was a high-end brand shopping bag casually placed in a corner of the room. Could they really afford such luxury? Something feels off, I thought, growing uneasy. I called my second son to discuss my concerns, and he remarked, "You know, whenever Big Bro hides something, he acts overly kind." I wondered what my eldest son was up to, what was causing this uneasy feeling. No matter how much I thought about it, I couldn't find an answer. The surgery went well, so they just took a little refreshing trip, right? How much did the surgery actually cost? Actually, $7,000. I paid for it all. When I answered, my second son widened his eyes and said, "Really?" with a surprised look on his face. $7,000. Even thinking normally, surgeries don't usually cost that much, right? Isn't that odd? When my second son asked me this question, a feeling of unease grew inside me. Upon doing a little research, I found out that the surgery Kate had undergone was typically around $700. So most of the money I had given. I decided to be brave and asked them to find out the truth. Recently, I'd been feeling distant from my eldest son and his wife. And more than anything, their gaze seemed somewhat cold, which was bothering me. "Sam and Kate, I want to talk. Lately, I felt like you've been pushing me away. Did something happen?" Sam said, "What are you talking about, Mom?" But he turned away his eyes slightly. "Stacy, rather than that, please prepare the meal as you usually do," Kate said, making me feel a bit choked up. "Wait, I care about you guys. I even paid for the surgery. Why are you treating me like this?" I became emotional and struggled to find words. At that moment, my eldest son and his wife showed a somewhat cold smile. "So you think we should be grateful to you? Don't get too full of yourself just because you helped out a bit. We don't remember asking you for money. Really, we just don't want to deal with you anymore." I was quite shocked. I couldn't believe they were talking to me like this after I had paid for the surgery out of goodwill. In fact, the surgery cost about $700. Right, so it wasn't that much money. At these words, their eyes widened. "You're surprisingly sharp. We didn't think you knew everything. I can't just turn a blind eye. But I never thought you'd treat me this horribly." They looked puzzled by my words for a moment but quickly braced themselves for a rebuttal. Why do you think you can talk down to us like that? Just get out. This house should be inherited by me, the eldest son. Mom, you have no right to stay here. Exactly. It's weird that Stacy lives here. She should leave. Fine, I can't live with you all any longer. I'll move out. So I decided to sell that house and move to a new place. Actually, that house is under my name. I earned more than my husband did. My eldest son and his wife seemed to be unaware of this. They even had smug smiles on their faces when I left. A month later, I got an unexpected call from my eldest son. Mom, why is the house up for sale? What the hell is happening? He asked, with his voice tinged with panic. I took a deep breath and calmly replied, calm down. What? There was a mix of surprise and anger in his voice. To be clear, I'm not your mother anymore. What does that have to do with anything? He snapped back. That house is in my name, and I've sold it. I decided not to hand it over to you. I can't believe this. Why would you do this now? Do some research, and you'll see. Jamie knows about this. He was silent for a while before despairingly saying, what should we do now? Well, I'm living overseas now. Jamie got a job transfer, so we decided to live here together. Meeting face to face will be difficult. I can't believe this. Breaking into the house is illegal, so be careful. Why did it come to this? Life has many unexpected twists. But if we were being honest all the time, things might not have come to this. Let's enjoy our lives moving forward. After hanging up, I took a deep breath and muted notifications from my eldest son on WhatsApp. Soon after, I received an email from a neighbor. She said, you know, I saw your eldest son and his wife wandering around in their car with loads of luggage. I couldn't help but laugh. Apparently, they've been lounging around at my house lately, without working much. No wonder they're short on money. I'm a bit worried, but I trust they'll pull through. I also told Kate's parents about the situation. They were shocked and decided to distance themselves from her. It might be tough for them, but sometimes they have to stand on their own 2 feet. Now I'm enjoying the breeze abroad with my second son. He's fallen in love with a lovely Japanese girl here, and I've quickly become friends with her. From now on, I look forward to short trips with my younger son and his girlfriend, tasting delicious local food, and enjoying relaxing time.